Breaking news: Prince William has just done something no future king has done in 70 years. He refused to attend the Prime Minister's official event, walked away, and publicly boycotted Keir Starmer in front of the entire world. But the reason behind this move could shake British politics to its very core. This isn't a scheduling conflict or a simple misunderstanding. It's an act of open defiance from the future king against the sitting government. And if you think this is just royal drama, you're missing the real story. Something far bigger is happening here. Something that could change Britain forever. Yesterday afternoon, Prince William was scheduled to attend Keir Starmer's Commonwealth Day reception at Lancaster House. More than 300 guests had already arrived, ambassadors, international dignitaries, and members of the press. But just 15 minutes before his expected arrival, Kensington Palace sent a message that stunned everyone. The Prince of Wales would not be attending. No warning, no explanation, and no diplomatic courtesy. Just a flat refusal. The Prime Minister's office was left scrambling to explain to confused foreign leaders why the future King of Britain had suddenly backed out. The embarrassment was immediate and global. What makes this even more shocking is that palace insiders have confirmed this wasn't due to illness, scheduling issues, or logistics. It was deliberate. Sources say Prince William told his senior aides that he couldn't stand on the same stage as a government he believes is trying to undermine the constitutional role of the monarchy. Those are fighting words coming from someone who's supposed to remain politically neutral. The timing couldn't be more explosive. Starmer's Labour government has been pushing forward proposals to reduce royal funding and give Parliament veto power over royal appointments. While the government claims these moves are part of modernization, palace officials see them as something far more serious, a slow-motion coup against the independence of the crown. Leaked documents from last month reveal plans to cut the sovereign grant and require government approval before royals make major speeches or go on international trips. William's refusal to attend the event was his way of saying no, publicly, powerfully, and in a way that breaks 70 years of royal neutrality. To understand how big this is, it's important to remember that working royals almost never make political statements. They smile, shake hands, and work with whichever government the public elects, regardless of personal feelings. The last time a senior royal openly defied a sitting government was during the Suez Crisis in 1956, and that happened behind closed doors. For Prince William to boycott a government event in full view of the international media puts him in completely uncharted territory. The fallout was instant. The Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, was reportedly blindsided, finding out about the cancellation through unofficial channels instead of proper diplomatic communication. That alone shows how sudden and serious this decision was, and how strained relations between Kensington Palace and Downing Street have become. Cabinet members arriving at Lancaster House had to face questions from international guests wondering where the Prince of Wales was. The optics were disastrous. Commonwealth Day, meant to celebrate British unity and leadership, instead turned into a display of constitutional chaos. Then, later that evening, Kensington Palace released a carefully worded statement from Prince William. Though diplomatic in tone, the message was unmistakably firm. He spoke about protecting the constitutional foundations of the monarchy and maintaining the independence and dignity of the crown. And that one word, independence, said everything. Legal experts immediately noted that William was accusing the government of trying to make the monarchy dependent on parliamentary approval, turning it into a political tool rather than an institution above politics. In his view, that's not reform. That's the quiet dismantling of the crown's power. Inside Westminster, panic spread quickly. Labour MPs were privately horrified at the prospect of clashing with the royal family. Princess Catherine remains one of the most popular figures in the country, with approval ratings in the high 70s, and Prince William is among Britain's most trusted public figures. Meanwhile, Starmer's government is polling poorly, hovering in the low 30s. Picking a fight with beloved royals when your own numbers are falling is political suicide. Even some Labour insiders have started breaking ranks, calling this a massive unforced error that's handing the opposition a gift. Internal Labour chats reportedly range from concern to outright panic, because no one expected the royals to actually fight back. But now that they have, the government seems to have no idea what to do next. And Prince William isn't standing alone in this. Sources close to other senior royals have revealed that Princess Anne and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, are equally furious about the government's recent actions. Princess Anne, who quietly carries out more than 500 engagements every year without complaint or drama, is reportedly livid about the proposals that would drastically cut funding for working royals. Behind palace walls, serious discussions are now underway about a possible coordinated response, with multiple royals considering refusing to attend government functions until the proposed reforms are withdrawn. Think about what that means. If senior royals begin boycotting official events, the entire machinery of British soft power comes to a halt. State banquets require royal hosts. Diplomatic receptions depend on royal attendance for protocol, and honor ceremonies can't proceed without royal participation. The entire system relies on mutual cooperation, and that cooperation may have just ended. The British public has already chosen sides, and it isn't even close. Within hours, social media exploded with support for Prince William. Hashtags backing him trended worldwide, generating millions of posts. Overnight polls show 68% of Britons siding with William's stance, while only 14% support the government's move to push reforms despite royal objections. Even among Labour voters, only 31% back Starmer on this issue, numbers that could end political careers. Meanwhile, Conservative opposition leader Rishi Sunak seized the opportunity immediately. He pledged his full support for the monarchy and promised to reverse every Labour reform if his party returns to power. Whether he truly means it or not doesn't matter. It's working. Conservative polling has jumped 7 points in just 3 days, their strongest performance since losing the election. Starmer has effectively handed his opponents a perfect political weapon, but there's a deeper problem here that few are talking about. The monarchy still depends on government funding. The sovereign grant comes from Crown estate profits, but it requires parliamentary approval. If this conflict escalates, both sides stand to lose everything. The royals need that funding to function, and the government needs the monarchy's cooperation for the ceremonial duties that make Britain's constitutional system work. This has become a standoff where there's no real path to victory. If Prince William pushes too far, he risks dragging the monarchy into partisan politics, something that could ultimately destroy the institution he's trying to protect. But if Starmer pushes too far, he could trigger a full-blown constitutional crisis that would define and likely doom his entire premiership. Constitutional experts are calling this situation unprecedented and dangerous. Britain's political system runs on unwritten traditions and mutual respect between the Crown and Parliament. When that balance breaks, there's no playbook to follow. The last comparable moment was the abdication crisis of 1936, an event that nearly ended the monarchy altogether. No one wants to see the country walk down that road again. Professor Robert Hazel, one of Britain's leading constitutional scholars, called this the most serious confrontation between the Crown and government since World War II. He warned that both sides must find a face-saving compromise quickly before positions harden beyond repair. Once the lines are drawn in public, backing down becomes almost impossible. There's also a global dimension to all of this: the Commonwealth. Prince William has spent years strengthening relationships across the Commonwealth, seeing himself as a bridge between Britain and dozens of member nations. 15 of those countries still recognize the British monarch as their head of state. If William believes the government's actions threaten that role or disrespect Commonwealth traditions, it explains why he's willing to take such a dramatic stand. Reports suggest several Commonwealth leaders have already expressed private support for William's position. According to diplomatic sources, many of them view the British monarchy as the symbolic glue holding the Commonwealth together. Anything that weakens the Crown weakens the entire organization, and they're reportedly making that point clear to Starmer's government. The economic stakes are massive as well. Royal events generate an estimated $1.8 billion every year in tourism revenue alone. The monarchy's role in boosting British soft power and diplomacy is even harder to measure, but equally significant. If senior royals begin pulling back from public life in protest, the financial and diplomatic costs will be real and painful.